Hi, in this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a simple PHP upload script. This will be slightly more advanced in our upload.php file. We will use our index.php. We'll be mainly using HTML code to give a form to the user to submit this particular file. Then in upload.php, we'll process this file, get some information about the file like its name, its type, size, temporary store name, and any other error messages that have occurred. You can use the error messages to check if it has occurred or hasn't occurred. Then we are going to process the file and save it in a specific directory on our web server. In the second part of this tutorial, I'll quickly teach you how to check the specific file type so you can protect it against file types. You'll also learn how to check the file size of the file so you can have a maximum or minimum file size. So here I've created a folder named uploaded, in which I've created my index and upload.php files. And this is where my files are being stored once they have been uploaded. When the files are uploaded initially, they go into a temporary area on the web server and not into this folder. For the HTML, we need to create a form. To this, we have a form action and we have a specific action, which is upload.php, and we have created a file here. The method is set to post. The reason for this is that we don't need to store it in a get variable. Why? Because we don't want the user to see the binary data we're sending across the website for security reasons. And also there is a 100-character limit on our get variable. So you'll have a very small file if you have only 100 bits of data. Okay, we have another parameter which you may not have heard of before. It's enctype. Encoding type, which means how we are going to encode this. It will be multi-part and we need a / and then its form data. In short, this means that we're submitting this form in the form of data, that is binary data, zeros and ones, which I mentioned earlier over here. Okay, so we've got the type this is going to be encoded to. We'll end our form here. We need some elements inside as input for our file. This type is set to file and we'll call it my file to be specific. Okay, paragraph break here, and then all we need is a submit button. Okay, so let's just preview this and let's close this off. Click File Upload. Oh, let's go back. Input, I type 2 use here. Let's go back. You can see here we got our input here. I can make it browse. We can see we got a selection of files which we can upload. Okay, so let's make it more user friendly for you and me. Upload a file and let's refresh that. Okay, so we've got a nice page here. We've got a header and possibility to upload a file here. Also can be manually typed in here if needed. And also we have an upload button which submits to our upload.php. Fine. So inside upload.php we need a way of processing this file which has been submitted from our form. The way to do this is by using $_files. This isn't actually right. We can tell it isn't right by echoing out just a single instance of this. When we do and I click on upload, we can see we just get array. That's because this is an array. Since this is a multi-dimensional array, in the first set of brackets, we'll type the name of the file that we have uploaded and the name of the input box from which it came from, that is my file. So we'll use my file here, and in the second one we can have a variety of properties, and the simplest and most easy one to think of is the name of the file. So let's go back to the upload form and let's choose intro.avi. It will be displayed here. Let's click upload and on the next page we see intro.avi. Remember this is a upload.php file, sorry. Okay, so that's that. Let me just save this to a variable. The next one we look at is, I'll just type it here, is the type of file. So this is $_files and we'll use the my name reference. And inside here we'll have the type. So that's type, or rather we'll echo this out so you can see. And it's refresh, resend that and see that now. My file. Right, resend that and we can see there's a video/avi. You may have seen this somewhere before in HTML. For example, this can be image/png or image/jpeg, image/bmp, video/avi and video/mpeg or some other format. At the moment we can see from here that it is an AVI file, so therefore that's what we get in type. So we can say type equals all of this. The next one I'll show you is the size. So to save time, what I'll do is I'll copy the code, paste it here and change the type to size and echo it out. You can see it's quite simple to get e-property of the file you submit. I'll refresh this page and click resend and we can get the size of the file. Now let's say we round this off to about 1,000,000. 1,000,000 bytes is in fact 1,000,000 bits is a megabyte. My file is actually a megabyte. So we've got 1,000,000 megabyte of data here. So let's save that in a variable called size. Okay. Right then, the next one, which is quite an important one, is the temporary name. This is written slightly differently as TMP abbreviated to temp and underscore and name. This will give us a directory that it's stored in temporarily until we transfer it to the folder of our choice. So let's refresh this page. Click on resend and you can see that that's stored into an example because I'm using this application. But if you're using an Apache, you can store PHP yourself. You'll have Apache here followed by your temporary file name. You can see that this is a randomly generated name that has a TMP extension. But it is useless to us at the moment. So we can save that as temp file or temp. Let's say temp in order to keep it short. And the last one is error. Now this will basically echo out a 0 if everything is clear. Again, copy paste and change that to error. We should get 0 at the moment because everything is written correctly. And this will never be a negative value. If it is more than 0, it means that it's giving an error code, which basically means that you have an error. And let's say we'll store this in a variable called error. Okay, that's all for now. In the second part of this tutorial, I'll show you how to upload your file by moving it from the temporary storage area to a specified area of your choice. And what we'll do is we'll use this variable error to see if there are any errors. If there are errors, then we'll echo it out and use the error code. If not, we'll take this temp and we'll use a specific function called moveUploaded file and we'll take that and store it in our uploaded directory created on my web server here. And then after that, I'll take you through some specifics to say, is this a JPEG? Yes, then disallow JPEG image being uploaded or disallow a specific file size. Okay, so tune in to part 2. Thanks for watching. This is Joshua Matthew dubbing for the Spoken Tutorial project.